pastor at the Table Church here in San Benito. This is another conversation at the table. It's a short devotional that we've been doing throughout the Advent days here since Thanksgiving. And today we're going to look at another one. This is a devotional, by the way, that was put together by 1517, and it is Advent in Isaiah. So various passages throughout Isaiah, 26 devotionals for the 26 days of Advent. And if you go to 1517.org, they've got some copies there. If you'd like to get one from here at the church, just stop by here at the Table Church. We'll make sure that you get a copy of your Advent devotional, Advent in Isaiah. It's coming home for Christmas and thinking about coming home throughout Advent. And we'll get to what we're going to look at in just a second. But I hope you've had a great Thursday. I've had a great Thursday. I've had some great conversations, especially here at the Table Church this afternoon. Jesus is doing some really, really cool things here in the RGV. I thought it'd be good for us. I know it's a little later in the day for a devotional. You might not be thinking, why is he doing a devotional at 5 o'clock? It's even later than I thought it was. I'll let you in on that in a second, but last night we had Blue Christmas here. Wow. Blue Christmas, a special service for people who are grieving, for those who don't think that Christmas is a time to be, is not the best time of the year, the most wonderful time of the year. It's not anything like that. Blue Christmas allows us to be honest with where we are in our grieving, in our anxiety, in our disappointment, whatever we're going through. We had a fantastic service here last night. I was blessed by those that were there and what I heard. It was just super. So we'll be doing that again next year, I guarantee you. One thing about Blue Christmas, a service of hope and remembrance. If you tune in, I encourage you, go back to yesterday right here on our table page, Facebook page, or you can go to our YouTube channel. And if you just briefly, you don't have to listen to the whole thing, just briefly look at the Blue Christmas, you'll see that it's kind of dark. And we had some discussion about how much light we were going to use for that particular service. But it was dark, and it was supposed to be that way. One of the things that Advent is doing is reminding us that Jesus shows up in the dark. And certainly for Blue Christmas, that's what we were reminding ourselves, that Jesus does show up for us when things are dark, when things are bleak, when life is overwhelming. Darkness isn't simply a symbol of it. There is real darkness. A lot of it is spiritual darkness, emotional darkness. It really is dark. What's interesting, though, is it's December 11th. Remember I said 5 o'clock. I'm looking out the window here. Sun's going down. It gets darker sooner here in December. In fact, this is one long march to, I think it's either December 20th or December 21st, the longest night of the year, or the shortest day of the year, the shortest amount of daylight. This is a season of the year where it's dark. Jesus shows up in the darkness, and it's not an accident that Christmas, Advent, all of this is part of this season, because Advent is bringing light into the darkness. Christmas certainly does that. And what's interesting is during the day here in Texas, you got sunshine, but then it quickly goes dark. Now, last week, it didn't do that. I think if you remember last week, we had a couple of days where it was gray all day, and then it went dark. That reminded me of my days and our days in Ohio. Born and raised in the Dayton area, and you could go weeks without seeing the sun. We called it the Pewter Dome. But you get to these days in December, wow, it's gray all day, and then you go to the dark, and then the next day it's gray all day, you go to the dark. Well, Advent is leaning into all of that. And Advent is saying, pay attention. Pay attention, because the earth and its rotation and the sun and creation, it's telling you something. that into the darkness comes the light. And darkness prepares us for the arrival of light. We're not used to thinking about darkness this way. And in fact, we kind of cheat. For the last couple hundred years, we cheat this a little bit because of the advent of electricity and the light bulb. Darkness shows up and we can still function. We can still work. We can still shop. We can still continue with our days until we're just actually too tired to carry on. And then we go to bed. It used to be when the sun went down, day was over because you didn't have the means, at least a very good means, of keeping everything light so that you could get more work done. But Advent leans into all this. It's dark because there's a coming light. Now, that's where we get to the devotional for today with 15:17. It is a line from Isaiah 60. There, Isaiah 60 is talking about light. And here's how the whole thing starts. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Now that sounds a bit weird. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Now, again, you think about Christmas and all the things going on Christmas, that screams Christmas. But if you just take what Isaiah is saying right there, that sounds a bit weird. We're used to the grammar of the law. In fact, I think we prefer it. That's our bent as sinners. We would say, if we were writing this, arise and shine, or arise and go be a light. You go be a light. The world needs you to be a light, so you go do that. Jesus needs you to be a light. I've actually heard it termed that way. Jesus needs you to be a light. So go be a light. But be a light, that's in line with all these other things that we're told, like you need to work hard enough to be on Jesus' good side. Go be a light so that Jesus will like you. Now, I'm putting it in child's terms, but that's what, even as adults, you pare down everything. That's what we're being told. Go be a light so Jesus will like you. If you're a good boy or girl, God's going to draw near to you. God will be listening. God doesn't listen to bad boys and girls. He only listens to good boys and girls. He only draws near to those. So go be a light. That's not Isaiah 60. It's not what Isaiah is saying. Arise, shine, for your light has come. You see, that's the gospel. It's not shine so that the light will come. You know what? Shine, because your light's already come. Advent decides that we as a church should just park ourselves in that sentence for 4 weeks. The amazing thing about the way that's worded is that's exactly how Jesus makes his home with us. You see, that sentence is not just a description. It's performative. The light that comes actually creates the light that then shines. It gives life to the light that shines. Jesus and his promise create the reality. Now, in another way, I often say when we're talking about the Lord's Supper and the Lord's table, and talking about receiving it in faith, the table is creating the faith that we need in order to receive it. That's what this Isaiah 60 is doing. You're a light because the light has already shone for you. In fact, the light that is shining creates the light that we are then arise, shine, expected to shine. When Jesus says, again, there's a story in the New Testament. One of his best friends passes. Jesus shows up to the funeral, and he says, Lazarus, come out. Lazarus, come out is not a motivational speech. It's not a TED Talk. It's not 5 ways for you to leave where you happen to be resting permanently. It's not Jesus saying, you know what, Lazarus, these are the things that you need to try harder in order to live. No. That very word creates the obedience necessary for him to hear Lazarus come out and do it. When Jesus says, arise, shine in Isaiah 60, he's not standing at a distance with his crossed arms saying, okay, let's see, are you going to shine or not? No. He's the light who's creating that shining back at him. That's the same word that is announcing the gospel to you. That is Advent. Your light has come. So, Advent in the darkness, and the sun's going down right now outside. We have a dark blue Christmas, all this darkness. Well, the darkness acknowledges how dark it is. The darkness is real. It's not fake. It's not imagined. It's real. Spiritual darkness, emotional darkness, whatever. It's real. But you know what's realer than the darkness, if you can use that word? I used to be a journalist. I can make up words. Realer. What's realer than the darkness is the light that has come. Jesus himself. Yeah. Jesus himself. The light has come. So your world's dark, so is mine. The light has come and continues to come. You're having a dark week? Well, then be here on Sunday at the table, because the light will be shining in word and sacrament. Jesus for you. Jesus continues to do it for you. And oh, by the way, all of this is a down payment for the new heavens and new earth. What's coming is no more darkness at all. It's an interesting way it's all phrased there in Revelation 21 and 22. What's coming? What's next? What's at the end of all this? All light all the time. All light all the time, because the lamp is its light. Jesus is your light. So we don't ever try to be the source of our own light. We don't ever have to try and figure out how we're going to be a light, and if we could just conjure up light from within us. You know, we sing, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." The reality is I don't. And I know I don't, and that spirals into its own darkness. You know, we begin to think I haven't been shining like I need to. We have to be reminded, in Advent, the light has come. Just stop. The darkness in the world is real. The darkness in you is real. But it's not final. It's not the end. Christ, the true light, is the final word for you. He's your light. He's creating all sorts of light that is also very, very real. And when I say light, that means then that he is providing you with the eyes of faith to see light, to see Jesus. That's Advent. Advent's the church sitting in the dark, acknowledging that the light is coming and has come in Jesus. That's today's conversation at the table. Join us on Sunday. We will be here at the table, church, at 10:30. Whatever this season holds, whether it's grief, joy, chaos, or calm, just remember this, that Jesus, your light, has you.